I don't know why, but I'm very energized right now, and I just want to get right into this. The Chris Chan weekly update. We're starting right away with Jacob Sockness. He has changed his name to the Right Eye of God. That makes me think of Exodia. It makes me think that there might be 4 other Jacob Sockness accounts, which there probably are. He has a lot of sock puppet accounts. But I already looked ahead a little bit, and this is going to get fun, guys. If you haven't been watching Chris's Twitter this week, this is going to get real fun. So Jacob starts by talking about GiBi, who is one of his gods of death. GiBi has given me dominion over Earth. Chris Chan, I am leader of Earth and representative of Earth to the Rocat. Earth is Palo Visha Terra. Who knows? I'm still skimming Jacob's books because I'm trying to make videos out of those. And they're long, and he makes up a whole bunch of names. And there's like 5 different creation stories that apparently all happened, and it's just a whole lot of nonsense. Earth is Palo Visha Terra in any legally binding text from the Empire. I am officially the ruler of Earth until Dana returns. I will keep Earth safe until her return. Until then, it is up to us to keep the peace. So Jacob currently thinks that he is the ruler of Earth as far as the Rocat Empire is concerned. Chris, or I guess Sonichu in Chris's body, says, Jacob, dude, that's enough. Your distant influence is not effective upon me, this body, or Mama Chris Chan at all. As we have been speaking, she has been saving lives, serving blessings, and doing her best for the Earth in both of our dimensions. All of the deaths and you've said you've influenced and caused, absolutely none of them have been of your influence at all. Their passings were destined. It has never been your judgment or will that caused that at all. You are not guilty of the deaths of anyone because you have never ever killed to begin with. Okay, so if you go and you look at my playlist called the Sockness Files, there's this, I'm not gonna say interview, we have audio of Jacob saying that he's done rituals to summon demons to kill a bunch of homeless people that live outside his buildings and cause one of the tenants in his buildings to have a drug overdose. And he says that he sacrifices them all to Chris. Now it's pretty clear to someone with an IQ above 7 that none of that ever actually happened and that none of those people died, or if they did die, it has absolutely nothing to do with Jacob's rituals. Chris seems to be trying to convince himself, because at one point he obviously did believe everything Jacob said, Chris seems to be trying to convince himself that all of those deaths that may or may not have actually happened certainly were not the result of Jacob sacrificing them to worship Chris, because Chris doesn't want those on his own conscience. So he's telling Jacob that he was not the cause of those deaths. And your self-insert foibles into Mama's life are overzealous. Stop talking so egotistical of yourself, dude. We've all got this, together. The dimensional merge is happening. The dimension merge is happening. Also, dude, you frustrate me, Sonichu, a lot. Lightning, lightning, lightning. I'm representing Earth to the Rocat. I'm keeping the position of prefect this time around that I've got to fight a war with China. Wait, what? That I've got a war to fight with China. Guys, Jacob's gonna save us from the corona. I have my mission to complete, and you have yours. There's gonna be a famine in China, a dam break, and other events I decree to take place. Yeah, that has already went down in China. You are not able to make it any worse than it already is there at all. You have no right to make such decrees. I will make China pay for what it did. You're not the only one with powers. That literally sounds like something a bad guy would say in an anime. The weather patterns are very closely linked to my activity, so I know what's causing it. There was 5 quakes in the last 2 days, wrong form of 2, so yeah, I'm fight for keeps. China's on the wrong side of my wand. Why would you want to claim the damage I've done to China? If you watch China Uncensored, you'd be appalled and not want to say it's the merge. Millions will starve when I'm done with them. Their crops are failing. They're running out of food. No, I'm sorry, it's theirs crops are failing. He uses both forms of the word there, and they're both wrong. Well, this one's right, just he puts an S. You should take it up with Jubilee. He is a day. Oh, it's a he. Jubilee's a he. I was wondering that during the Sockness files videos. He's a deity, so I'm kind of stuck as a prefect of Earth. If you're just gonna get mad at me for proving my power, you really should ask me to teach you. You hate Trump. Do something to him with your magic. And then these guys. So what, you caused all those COVID deaths? I don't think Jacob was saying that he did anything about COVID. He's getting revenge for COVID. Jacob will return later, but until then, Caleb asks, Chris, random question. If the Transformers exist in C-197, then what happened to Unicron? Will Unicron ever attack Quickbill? And Chris says, Unicron's been dead. He will never attack Earth or any other planet again. So, like, yeah, that's a legit answer in this one instance, but there's still a lot of villains that aren't dead, and that the dimensional merge will mean that they can attack us, and that's bad. Jacob. Eyes channeled Jacoba on the goddess. He is not happy. I'm going to have to create a division of labor for the Twitters. I've no choice but to keep the occult stuff related to the merge on my private account. Since Christine pissed off Jacoba, expect the world to go to war. Chris Chan may have triggered World War III by trying to take credit from what we've done to China, which we've proven was mine or his. I'm assuming his there means Jacoba. I've proved my power and summoned real spirits that I can photograph. I have to admit, you have some power. You predicted the god's power I used to rape China with Uva Chow, the god of dominion and ego. So this is something Jacob does a lot. He sets up his little smoke machine and then takes very poor pictures with his camera. And he thinks that he sees spirits. Sometimes he'll outline the spirits with Microsoft Paint to like draw what they really look like. And he just gets high or drunk and does that and thinks that's him channeling spirits. So Chris responds to this. I am only going to tell you this once, Jacob. I'm not taking credit for anything at all. You need to cool your head off. Hating on others is not okay at all. I'm sorry, dude, but I needed to say my piece about you. Mama has not broken up with you. That is not my call to make. But no, you have no control over her, and you have no control over me, and Mama still cares about Kitasuna and its people as well. My statement was not directed at anyone other than you, Jacob. Overreacting was not necessary. And then Jacob has an ultimatum. Acknowledge that I'm doing what I am to China as I have proven it so. Good night. So Jacob's really pissed that Chris is trying to take credit for what's happening in China, which is apparently something. And this guy asks, oh, Sonichu, are Christine and Jacob dating? And he says, no, at least not yet. Which is not good to hear. Alright, so this original tweet from FluffyTG. Let's look at their profile. They are a furry artist, or at least they're an artist that also does furry stuff, as well as NSFW stuff. They only have 740 followers, which in the grand scheme of things is not very much, but they make over $600 on Patreon every month for these furry art stuff. So she tweeted something to the effect of, how old did you think I was? And that tweet's now unavailable because I'm guessing it got a lot of creepy responses, especially, or I guess including this one from Chris. Honestly, Mama thought you were roughly veering on 18 or 21, entering young adulthood, and cute enough to still get away at times. I think the artist is like 16 or something. So yeah, not a good look here from Chris. Especially with the deleted tweet, we don't really know what he is responding to. Okay, so, famous animator The Odd Ones Out tweeted, if I was turned invisible and put my hand over a necklace I was wearing, would the necklace disappear also? So here's example 1, where because you are invisible, you cover everything, inside you, so it's covering the necklace. And here, because the necklace isn't a part of you, it does not become invisible despite the fact that you're covering it. And of course, the necklace he uses is the Sonichu medallion. So you got people like Rubber Ross saying, excuse me, sir, we all know that medallion turns you into your Sonic OC, not invisible. Unbelievable. And then this guy, GiBi Devin, whatever idiot that is, says, bruh, his power is in his high school class ring, not the medallion. Did you even read issue 10? Anyway, so this blew up on Twitter with, 46,000 likes. A lot more comments than retweets. That's interesting. Anyway, so it eventually got to Chris. It looks like Hickley Felony, whose name I still can't. I'm just gonna call her Helena from now because I really cannot pronounce that. Looks like Helena retweeted this, and so Chris, who follows her, saw it. And he said, because obviously he would know because he made the Sanchi medallion, if you turn invisible with the medallion on, the medallion will turn invisible with you most of the time. On that, though, it will turn invisible if the medallion is enchanted as typical. An unenchanted medallion will remain visible. In other words, if the medallion does allow you to change your own form, then it will become invisible when you do, and that is entirely incomprehensible. I have no idea what he's talking about. I guess he's saying it depends on how the magic system works, which... duh? I don't know. That's not a straight answer. I was hoping for a straight answer there. Okay, here's what I got a sneak peek of earlier that I was excited to get to. Jacob Sockness again. I created the ultimate ritual, and I think it worked. Sonichu is here. The room got really hot and smelled like sulfur, but it's the very same being I channeled before. Magi-chan is 100% real, and I've got my usual proof. Thanks, KS Jubilee, for the love boost the other night. So you gotta remember that Chris believes that Magi-chan visited Jacob. He actually believes that he visited Jacob while possessing Magi-chan. It's confusing. So Chris believes that Jacob has these powers, or at the very least used to. So it would be complicated for Chris to deny this kind of stuff now. So here we see Jacob with his books. We see his Chris shrine with some pictures of Chris. These are all of his trading cards. That's several $100s, I believe. And remember that Jacob is living on disability, so that's your tax dollars at work. He's created, it looks like some crystals. You think he would have a better camera. Crystals in I don't think that's a pentagram. Candles, he has all the Twilight Sparkle Secret Chip folder cards. They're signed by Chris, because Chris sold a whole set that was signed. He has some magic rocks, and he has put a drop of blood on Dimensional Merge Completion on Magi-chan, specifically, because, he's the most psychic one. And this is very important for his spells. Without my love, there just is no power to my spells. Jubilee had to restore so this spell would work. Had to restore what? I'm airing out the sulfurous smell. Think it got over 100 in here while the portal was maxed out. Me and Magi-chan are blood brothers now. It looks like we'll be one big happy family someday. He is just the worst. Anyway, so Chris didn't like this. Dude, just because you stained a few cards with blood, it does not make you a blood brother of any of us, or to any of us. Especially me, Magi-chan, and Mama Chris-chan. All you did was greatly offend me, Jacob. Because he ruined Chris's card. This is like his special signed card. And for everyone's reference, yes, Jake did pay in full in legitimate purchase of the autographed card set. What he did here was more offensive than that time Mama was selling her extra rare Pokemon cards, sold her Shining Raichu card to a kid, and he ripped it in half. Oh, that's actually kind of mean. So yeah, Chris is just not putting up with Jacob's stuff anymore. But he's not putting up with Jacob's stuff, like what Jacob's doing, but he's still putting up with Jacob as a person, which is... It's because he doesn't learn. It's because he doesn't learn. He legitimately believes that everybody can be redeemed because he watched too much Friendship is Magic. Someone drew some art. You got Chris, you got Magi-chan, you got Helena. Oh, this guy. Oh, we gotta talk about this guy. Richard, I think that's his name. Let's go find him. His account is Righteous for Quick. This is him in the middle. He goes around with his rainbow pentagram because, as you can see, you got the LGBT stuff. His background is the trans rights flag. And he has a Michael Myers mask. Black Lives Matter, Antifa, etc. Preacher of thy, Chris-chan, Sonichu Rider, they, them. So this person is one of the few other true believers besides Jacob. He, they, whatever, actually believe that Chris is God. The same way that Jacob kind of does. Although Jacob believes that his gods are, more powerful than Chris, whatever. So this picture is photoshopped. They've never met in real life. That's how creepy this guy is. He photoshopped himself text to Chris because he is in love with Chris. And he and Jacob actually run the non-ironic subreddit where they praise Chris. So if you go on there, he and Jacob are the moderators that run that. This person's also obsessed with Kamen Rider and is trying to make Kamen Rider canon in Sonichu. That's what Sonichu Rider is here. And of course, Chris is following them. So yeah, that's another dangerous person to watch out for. But for now, back to Jacob. Thankfully, no one will ever be able to repeat my spell. I made it up as I went along. And I only took photos, no voice recordings. Hey, whoa, hold on, Jacob. You said that if you record magic happening, it takes a little bit out of the spell. I have you on record saying that. So you took pictures of it? That means that the spell is not really going to work as well now, is it? Unless you're just lying and making it all up. I cannot recreate that spell. I gained some charge crystal out of it, but nothing more. Yeah, the bloodbind will be there for life. So he's saying that, no matter how mad Chris gets that him and Magi-chan are blood brothers now, it can't be undone, and no one else can do it, because Jacob made it up as he went along, didn't write it down. This is blood magic, and it's binding for life. And so Chris's only counter to this is, your bloodbind magic does not work. All that did was tick me off. There's literally, actually just two 7-year-olds saying, nah, my character is infinity, and the other person says, mine's infinity +1. You know nothing about the deep state or the occult. Blood magic is what the global elite use to hold onto power and access the dimensional barriers to call their spirits forth. I'm just imagining, like, Bill Barr having a JoJo stand. I'm sorry, I was actually just crying there. Study the occult. It'll help you gain vast power, the power you seek. Proof I was on the right track in what I did. You know nothing about magic in real life, or you would have known the deep honor it was that I gave my blood for your dimensional merge. Maybe now you'll understand the sacrifice I made for you. And this magic in real life, he links to learnreligions.com, blood magic in witchcraft. So this person is pointing out that Chris never made any of Jacob's magic canon. He only made his self-inserts as characters canon in Sonichu, and thus he believes that they're real. And Jacob responds, she claims to be the most powerful, but I see that I'm closer to achieving the merge than she is. I'm getting photographic proof which she can't get. She relies on others to draw her characters into photos, but provides no proof of her own creation. What? Jacob's photos are of fog. They're of smoke. You have a point. Thanks. I do have a lot of work to achieve what I have. Magic is just another job. It's work. Just spiritual work. Oh, Jacob has a job. That means he shouldn't be getting disability unemployment. I wish there was a job position called a shaman somewhere. I Love Pickles says, come on, goddess, use your magic and stop him. Jacob says, she can't, because she doesn't know real magic. My blood sacrifice is the highest honor I could have bestowed upon her. I was doing what she asked. Make the merge happen. Look up witchcraft blood magic. It's very real and extremely powerful. And this person's asking Jacob if he can save us in the merge. I've bloodbound the merge to me a year ago. Only me and Chris together can bring it about. Her not meeting me in person will prove it. If cartoons ever appeared in reality, the news would be all over it. There would be no hiding what she's described. So again, he's hiding the merge behind the desire to meet Chris in person, because he keeps trying to weasel himself into Chris's family. He's in love with Chris. He wants to live with her. Him, whatever. That's why he became blood brothers with Magi-chan, because he wants to be part of their family. It's crazy, after all these years of Chris nonsense, there's finally, like, a true villain to the story. we can finally root for Chris to fight someone. Okay, so this is a fake Vice tweet about the life, legacy, and tragedy of Chris Chan. Don't miss the 2-hour season premiere of The Dark Side of Sanji tonight at 9. Not real. This person said, fine Vice, I'll watch it. Now, I don't know if Chris understands that this isn't a real Vice tweet. He says, acknowledged. Watched it on Gino's channel. I mixed channel with Samuel Chanuel. Watched it on Gino's channel. So again, I don't know if he understands that this is fake or not, or if he's saying, hey, I already watched that documentary on Gino's channel. But yeah, just a reconfirmation that Chris does in fact watch Gino's channel. Okay, so this person, Greer, more human Sonichus. This time it was just a warm-up doodles of the chaotic combo, along with some names I thought might fit them. All these characters originally belonged to Chris Chan, and these are just my own interpretations. And then some drawings, who cares? Chris says, that's cool, and I do like the art. It is good. I, Sonichu, am tired of being human. I wish this body of Mama's would get into C197 already, so it can unlock and transform into its Sonichu form, and all else that needs to be done. So if you're wondering about Chris being in his Sonichu form, which he's been in his Sonichu form for a long time now, and it's kind of disturbing, actually. Basically since Corona started and BabsCon got cancelled. So, Chris currently believes... Let me tell you. Chris believes that there exists in Quickville, where he currently is, because Sonichu's in his body here, and he's in Sonichu's body there. Or maybe he's in his own body there, I don't know. Chris thinks that in Quickville, there are... I think 7, but the number doesn't matter. He thinks that there are these things called power cubes, kind of like the Sonichu balls from the Sonichu comic. And he thinks if he can gather the 7 cubes, which he thinks he already has some of them, that he can literally travel back in time and stop Corona from happening. And the only reason he wants to stop Corona from happening is to go to BabsCon. So basically, there are only 2 ways for him to be snapped out of his Sonichu delusion. The first is for him to find the 7 things, go back in time, and stop Corona. And I have a feeling that most of the people watching this don't think that's a real possibility. And the other is for Corona to end and things to get back to normal, and maybe for there to be another pony convention that he can go to that's just as good as BabsCon, and for him to be like, oh, that wasn't too bad. Basically, it's a coping mechanism. I feel the need to preface this. If you've seen my latest video about reading perplexing comments, you'll know that people like to get mad at me whenever I talk about real disorders and talk about them in regards to Chris. But this is similar to dissociative identity disorder. Basically, someone's undergoing trauma, something bad's happening to them, and they just sort of leave their body, and they go somewhere else. Like, that's something that's... Or it's a real thing. It's a real way that humans deal with trauma. And this is kind of like that. I don't know if there's any studied cases where people will do that for months and months and months at a time. I personally don't think he's faking. I think it's a coping mechanism, because I'm not a smart, educated person on that topic. So that is the end of Chris's tweets. There is nothing new for Chris on YouTube. It has been a month since the last Red vs. Blue analysis, whatever, watching party. But I did want to share one more thing. In one of my previous videos, The Absurds 14.5, I talked about a show called Penn and Teller Fool Us. It's a really fun TV show that I only discovered less than a year ago, that I've been binging on YouTube. And Penn and Teller, the famous, magician duo, they kind of... It's not really judging, it's not really a competition, but other magicians will come on stage and perform a trick for Penn and Teller. And Penn and Teller need to figure out how they did the trick. And if they can't, then the person wins a trophy. It's a pretty cool design for a show, because it's got the contest part, it's got the judging part, you get to see a lot of, very competent people at work, you got to see magic tricks, which are always fun. So one of their recent contestants, in early July, was Wes Isley from the Sonichu comics. And I talked about that in my Absurds 14.5 video, but that was before his performance, and now his performance has come out. So you should go watch that for funsies. I'm going to link it in the description of this video. It's actually just really cool, because, this guy from Christory, who has a red hedgehog OC that he knows nothing about, that Chris Chan made because he was jealous of him in high school, is on national television performing in front of Penn and Teller for a trophy. Like, this guy that Chris ran into when he was in high school now has a wife and a kid, and I think they just had twins. And he has his own YouTube channel, and he's performing in Vegas and on TV, and Chris is sitting in his bedroom making My Little Pony cards pretending to be Sonichu. Like, we don't get to know what happened to Sarah Hammer or Megan because they've gone kind of off the grid, but we know where Wes Isley is because he's actually making something of himself. And that's just cool. So I'm going to leave you there with that. Thanks for watching. Make sure to watch my other Absurds videos. The one I put out a couple days ago about Hampshire is one of my favorite videos ever. I will keep updating you on Chris Chan. I will keep updating you on all the topics that I find interesting. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at GIBI_Devin. I got a Patreon. I got a GoFundMe that I'm currently running to buy medicine and an operation for my sick cat. Don't feel pressured into donating. We are going to do the operation, basically no matter if we get the money or not, but it's just that it would be very helpful because everyone in my family is out of work due to Corona. And thank you for helping me pass 20,000 subby buddies. That's really cool. My next landmark that I'm looking for is going to be 34,000. When I hit 34,000, I'm going to have a big celebration. 34,000 is the number that one of my favorite YouTubers was at when I found his channel, and so just the thought of me being where he used to be back then is really cool, so that's why that's a important number to me, and I should hit it, like, a year from now. That'd be cool. And that's when I'm going to release that Scooby-Doo shirt that everyone wants, so let's make that happen.